Hello, my name is Joyce Franco. I'm a student here at Rutgers University, and the topic of my research is soil analysis based on NMR measurements. The purpose of my research is to analyze how and to what extent the NMR rock core analyzer is able to estimate water retention and pore size distribution of materials that have different physical properties such as porosity, texture, and magnetic susceptibility. Now I'm going to explain the procedure that we had to follow for this research. First, we saturated all the samples that had different silt and clay compositions. We saturated them with deionized water. Then these saturated samples were analyzed with a rock core analyzer, which you can see right here. And then this instrument provides us with information and the water content that is held inside the pores of different materials, and also it also tells us about the pore size distribution. And you can see here we have the raw data that was obtained from the instrument, and then this raw data was analyzed using a conversion algorithm on MATLAB, and that's allowed us to obtain this graph that you see right here that shows the amplitude and the relaxation time of the saturated materials. The amplitude right here corresponds to the water content held inside the pores, and the relaxation time represents the pore size distribution of the sample analyzed. First, I'm going to talk about the amplitude, how the amplitude changes depending on the type of material that we're using. So if you see the first peak right here corresponds to a sample that contains sand only, just 100% sand. And the last peak right here, you see here, contains 100% clay. And you can see that the difference between the two of them are completely different. You can see that the amplitude for the sand sample is smaller compared to the clay sample, and it has to do with the fact that clay has a larger surface area, therefore it retains more water inside the pores. And you can also notice that the relaxation time for clay samples is larger, and the relaxation time for clay sample is shorter, and it has to do with the pore size, because sand materials have larger pores and clay has smaller pores. And you can see almost the same pattern for the silt samples, but in this case we used an impure sample. This sample contained small traces of clay and sand, and also magnetic particles, which affected the NMR readings. And that's how you see that the clay sample show a pattern. All the peaks that you see here show a pattern, and this graph, it does show a pattern, but it's not really accurate, because the relaxation time of silt sample should be larger than the relaxation time of clay, because clay has small pores in comparison to silt samples. And the next set of results, I'm showing the average porosity of the samples as the amount of clay and silt increase. And you can see that in both scenarios, the average porosity has a similar behavior. So for the samples that contain 100% sand, the average porosity ranges between 30 to 35%, and it decreases slightly, and once we increase the amount of clay and silt, the average porosity increases, and this has to do with the pore size distribution, because there's the amount of small pores increases in the overall sample. Lastly, for the last set of results, here I'm showing how the relaxation time depends heavily on the pore size distribution. As the number of small pores increases, or as I increase the amount of clay and silt, the relaxation time decreases. So you'll see shorter relaxation times. The major conclusion of my research is that the NMR rock core analyzer can be used to estimate the water retention inside the pores and the pore size distribution. But this instrument also has limitations, like when it comes to analyzing materials that contain magnetic materials, this may affect NMR readings, leading to inaccurate results. So this is the reason why further research needs to be done. Thank you.